para empezar, quiero comentarles que para mí es un gran honor presentar a nuestro primer speaker del día de hoy. Él es un médico osteópata, pero es un experto en Psyche. Psyche es un arma poderosa para transformar nuestras creencias limitantes. Él ha compartido en todo el mundo sus conocimientos, ayudando a miles de personas a contactar con su bienestar. Es para mí un gran honor presentar a una gran persona. Por favor, les pido un caluroso, fuerte aplauso para Duccio Locati. Bienvenido, Duccio. Bienvenido, bienvenido. Bienvenido.
Gracias.
Te dejo con.
Gracias. No soy emocionado, per niente, pero gracias por estar aquí. Por tu amor. Esto es todo mi español. Entiendo español, pero no hablo mucho. From now on, I will speak Italian. Not Italian. No. English. So again, thanks to each one of you for being here, for your courage, for your time, for your vulnerability. And thanks, Cristina Raul, for the amazing event that you have created to serve people. I'm really honored to be here to share a different point of view about health. It's not an absolute truth. It's an offer. It's a different offer. I hope that after this presentation, you might start to see what happens with you and your health in a different way. It could be superficial, it could be very profound. I hope it's profound for each one of you. Because we are used to perceive what we call illness as something bad, as something that happens to us. It's a kind of curse that we need to destroy, that we need to fight. It could be something really different. It could be not an error, but an ally. In history, okay, here there should be, okay? No, okay, there was another slide. In history, the illness was perceived as divine punishment or bad luck, and it was treated with divine rituals. Thanks God today we don't have to kill a lamb to cure a headache anymore, okay? Then it evolved, the concept of illness evolved in a mechanical way. The body is a machine composed by different pieces. If one piece is broken, you just change the piece. So we are basically robots. Then it evolved in a medicine that's conceived as an attack from the outside, viruses and bacteria, and this led to the antibiotic-based medicine. And finally, as Bruce shares very well, the illness is perceived as a defect in our genes. For me, it's really something really different. And I would like to share my experience. Nothing that I'm going to share is just out of theory, okay? Every single thing that I will share with you is based on my experience, with myself and with other people, with all the people that I have worked with. So once upon a time, I love to open the story, there was a little girl. Her name is Lupita. And when I was preparing this presentation, I was with my ChatGPT asking, can you please tell me a name that's very common in Mexico for my presentation? And my ChatGPT, because I am half Swiss and half Italian, my ChatGPT is very Italian. And so, can you please tell the name? And my ChatGPT said, Lupita. Lupita is a name, okay, Lupita. So Lupita is Lupita, okay? So Lupita was a very happy girl, very healthy, with a happy and healthy stomach. Now, the story will go with the stomach, but this is related to every organ, to every part of the body. And in some way, we are all Lupita. I am a Lupito. I don't know if Lupito exists in Mexico or not. But I am for sure a Lupito, okay? And Lupita, while growing up, she lived in a family, like all of us, and the family had, like any family, beautiful subconscious beliefs, enhancing beliefs, but also limiting beliefs. And she started to integrate the limiting beliefs also that started to affect her life and also her health, because she started to feel afraid, stressed, and this was affecting her stomach as well, because the subconscious family beliefs affect our health directly, because our subconscious mind, as Bruce explains very well, not only manages our subconscious beliefs, but also manages our autonomous nervous system, our physiology, our health. So when we transform subconscious limiting beliefs, we also transform our health. And I don't know, okay, here, I have some text that doesn't appear on the presentation. Can you check if the presentation is working correctly? Because there should be some text here. No? Okay, the text that should have been here, just imagine that there is some text here, okay? Adaptability is another thing that I've learned with Psyche. If something is not working as you expected, you need to find a solution, okay? So, applied solution. Which are these kind of limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs like, do not trust strangers. Life is hard. A belief that Raoul knows very well, money doesn't grow on tree. And pay attention, money is very important for health. Because everything that we live in our life affects our health. We tend to think that health is health and we just take care of health. It's not. Your relationships affect your health. Your abundance affects your health. Your relationship with spirituality affects your health. Everything affects your health. And so Lupita started to integrate these beliefs, but pay attention also to not fall in the trap of judging the family. It's super easy to be angry and judgmental with our parents, for example. Oh, I am such a disaster because my father was like that, my mother was like that. Just be clear, our parents share with us what they know. If my mother knows love, she will share love. If my father has never experienced love in his life, how can we pretend to receive love from him? Stop. Stop doing that. Instead, if you have the blessing of experiencing love in your life, give love to your father. So for the first time, he will experience love. And maybe you chose your father exactly for that. Okay? Another thing that deeply affected Lupita was about traumatic events. And pay attention, traumatic events are not only what we define, war, violence, abuse. We tend to think about traumas like something hugely dramatic, and it happens, okay? I think that for each one of us, if we think about a traumatic event, at least one, we all have one. But a traumatic event is something that we experience in our life that in that moment of our life is too big for us. And we are not able to manage it. And there is nothing there to help us to manage this traumatic event. And pay attention for Lupita. One of the most important traumatic events was at school. True story. Very similar to mine also, but to other people I've worked with. Because Lupita, in her primary school, she had a teacher who kept saying her, "You're not smart enough. You're not smart enough." And she started to believe that. Because like Bruce yesterday said, from 0 to 7 years old, we just absorb belief without questioning them, okay? And she was 6 when she started hearing, "You're not smart enough." So she started to believe that. And because of that, this triggered another traumatic event. She was bullied at school. So she hated school, as you can imagine. And this deeply affected her stomach. Injustice, anger. Then we have what we call secondary gain. It's something that for many of you will sound kind of crazy, but if you're honest enough, you are going to find some in your life. What is a secondary gain? A secondary gain is an advantage in maintaining a problem in our life. Consciously, we want to solve the problem. Consciously, Lupita, while she was growing up, she was so tired of her stomach. And she wanted to really solve the problem. But at subconscious level, her subconscious said, "Do not touch this problem. Don't dare to solve this problem. Because if you solve this problem, you're going to lose something that's even more important than the solution of the problem itself." And also, Lupita discovered that the problem was useful in some things about day-to-day life. For example, when she was 6, one night she had a terrible stomachache. And she woke up, she felt terrible, she had fever. And her mother naturally told her, "Oh, you can stay home." I said, oh wow, at the subconscious level, that's interesting. I have the stomachache and I can stay home and not go to school to see the teacher that tells me that I'm not smart enough and where I'm bullied all the time. So, at the subconscious level, this condition is not too bad, okay? It has something that could be useful. But she had also another way bigger secondary gain. Because when Lupita also was 6, in the family, a new little brother appeared. And all the attention went from her parents towards Lupita to the little brother. And she felt abandoned, ignored, invisible. But she observed at the subconscious level, but also at the conscious level, that when she felt sick, immediately her parents started to pay attention to her again. So at the subconscious level, again, she started to associate, I am visible, loved, and my parents take care of me when I'm sick. I know no one here resonates with that. I know. This is the smile of the secondary gain, okay? But it's really the advantage of maintaining a problem or a condition. And pay attention, secondary gains are not only for health. They are everywhere. There are secondary gains in not being successful. Because one beautiful question that I asked once to an entrepreneur who was desperately wanted to be more successful, I asked to him, what will you lose once you will be successful? I said, oh my God, my privacy, time with my family. And I will earn so much money that I will be in danger because people will want money from me. And my family is in danger because of the amount of money. So he consciously wanted to be more successful, but his subconscious mind said, no way I will protect you. And the secondary gains were affecting Lupita and Lupita's stomach. Another thing that was affecting Lupita's stomach, it's something that we already have heard about yesterday. It's about messages. Lupita's stomach and the symptoms that she had at the stomach are also messengers. They're trying to tell Lupita, please, Lupita, please, please, listen to me. I have something important to tell you. You need to pay attention to this thing. You need to receive the message. You need to give love to yourself. You need to take care. You need to understand something because I'm desperately trying to get your attention to wake you up through the symptoms so that you can change. The problem is that the majority of us silence the messenger. We don't want to hear because it's painful sometimes. Sometimes the messages itself, it's something that we do not want to hear because it's also about a change in our life. Oh, maybe your relationship is not healthy. Again, you should close your relationship, but we don't want to hear that. Your job is not anymore your job. What is good for you, you should change for that. But we ignore because it's too painful. We fear the change. But the more we silence the messenger, the more the symptoms will be louder because they need our attention. Good news, there are many ways on how to get these messages. It's beautiful, it's easy. Then there are things that are below the level of consciousness. What does it mean? All the things that were affecting Lupita's life and Lupita's stomach that Lupita had no idea. For some examples. Maybe some beliefs that Lupita started to have when she was in the womb of her mother that already affected her subconscious, but she couldn't possibly remember that. Ancestors' beliefs that we might inherit, but we have no idea. The ones of you who believe in past life, because it's a belief. I believe in past life, but it depends. But if you believe in past life, and you believe that a past life can affect a current life, this could be another reason that's below the level of consciousness. And for example, for Lupita, one very important thing that was below the level of consciousness was that when she was in the womb of her mother, again, true fact, okay? This was a woman I worked with, that she suffered from anorexia, okay? So, do you know anorexia, okay? One thing during the session that I was doing with her is that through the Sake process, she was able to remember something that her mother told her. When she was in the womb, the mother of her mother, so her grandmother, died. The mother, who was pregnant, fell into depression and nearly stopped eating for about 1 month. Okay? You can imagine how this stop eating of the mother affected also the nurturement, the food of Lupita that was inside, that was just there. I need to survive, I need to grow. But clearly, we cannot pretend that Lupita had memory of what happened when she was a few months old in the womb. But she remembered that her mother then told her, oh, you know, when I was pregnant with you, Grandma passed, and this deeply affected me. So all these unconscious beliefs also deeply affect our health. And that's why when we want to take care of our health in a very holistic way, we also need to take care of them, of the unknown, because when we want to solve something, we want to address what we know, but also what we do not know. And we need to bring it to the surface. And there are, for example, here I use Psyche because Psyche, for me, because different tools works for different people. For me, Psyche works like magic. With Psyche, it's possible to come up with beautiful solutions and realizations that help you to grow and to be a better person. Because all these things together finally created what we can call illness, what we can call problem. This is one point of view. Oh, all these things created Lupita's problem in her stomach. That's one point of view. Another point of view that I would like to offer to you, take it or not, is that actually Lupita's stomach was doing its best to survive in that environment. How can I do my best with my physiology, with my digestion, to digest the anger, the conflict, the frustration that's coming from family beliefs, from traumatic events, from secondary gains, from messages, from unconscious information. And the poor stomach actually was not sick or ill, was doing its best to survive in that environment. So in my experience, if you really want to approach health in a holistic way, you don't have to start with the symptoms. The symptoms is the end. You have to start with the person's life, with Lupita's life, and pay attention. Everything that in Lupita's life finally created that. Everything that in Lupita's life finally requested the stomach to behave in that way. And you can ask also, because stomach is one thing, but one question that you that can come up naturally could be, but what about cancer? Cancer is a beast. We need to kill it. We need to destroy it. It's an enemy. Yes, that's a point of view. That's a point of view, okay? Without judgment. Another point of view that I would love to offer to you is why do you need, or the person needs, an overproduction of cells with an overproduction of hormones or substances? What in the person's life finally triggered the activation and the epigenetic activation that triggered the production of cells for a specific function? What's the function of the condition? This is so simple that we never ask that. We want to kill it. But if we just stop for 1 second, we will do a short experiment at the end of this speech. If we just ask for 1 second, okay, what's your function? Why you are here? Or even more, if it seems a little bit crazy, why do I need you? Why do I need you? It's so powerful. And then you will start to perceive the condition that we call illness It's a word that I'm using here to be clear, but it's a word that I don't even use in my vocabulary anymore. You start to see this consciousness that we call illness as a consciousness. And you start to dialogue with it. You start asking questions. Why are you in my life? Why do I need you? Or, for the more practical ones, what can I do so you can let go? You can go away. Okay, please tell me. Thank you for your service. You can go. Okay? What can I do? These are powerful questions to deal with health in a very different way. Then, very, very important, the environment. Bruce will talk later even more about the importance of the environment. The environment is vital for our health. Okay? We have already talked about the family environment. And you can see here that the poor Lupita not only had this little mischievous brother that took all the love, okay, but she also had a little sister. So she was the only child for 6 years, and then all the love attention to her brother and sister. She was desperate. But then, in the family environment, think about your family environment. Do you feel safe? Was it with love? Was it with conflicts? Was it filled with fear or trust? If you go back to your family, especially in the first few years of your life, what's your perception? What's your memory? And then you might start to think and to realize how many limiting beliefs you have inherited that are now opportunities to be a better person and not to blame and complain towards your parents. Another very important environment is the professional environment. How are you in your professional environment? Because Lupita, if you remember, started to believe to her teacher, I'm not smart enough. So she expressed that, she manifested it. I'm not smart enough. And pay attention, what we believe is what other people perceive. Lupita believed I'm not smart enough. What other people perceived about her, Lupita is not smart enough. So she was again bullied, again. So we recreate over and over. She was in a very competitive environment, zero collaboration. And she worked twice the time of the others, never getting a promotion. And if we spend at least 8 hours of our life in a toxic environment, this affects our health, yes or yes. It's a rule. So how many of you think about at least something that is stressful or in the family environment or in your job environment? How many? Can you raise your hand? Perfect, okay. Thank you for the honest ones, okay. And also for the ones who, yeah, I have, but I don't want to show. It's okay, yeah. This is affecting your health. You need to do something with you to change your interaction with the environment. But then another very powerful environment that deeply affects our health is society. Think about all the limitation and all the manipulation of the society we live in. Oh, you should be successful, you should buy more, you should be beautiful to be accepted, but according to the standards of society, not your own beauty. And so we act and we behave. 99% of the people are not themselves. They are masks. A mask that they wear to be able to be accepted in society by others. And it's exhausting. Actually, the energy that we use to not be ourselves is energy that you take from your health. Okay? The more you are yourself, the more you allow yourself to be you, no matter what people think about you, the healthier you will be. Because you will invest all this energy being just for your health and not to be someone else. Okay? But this is scary. Oh my God, if I am myself, I'm not accepted. If I am myself, I'm not loved. If I am myself, I'm not beautiful enough. If I don't have enough things, people will judge me. Think about the social media environment. We are all addicted to it, and it's one of the most toxic. Okay? Then, another environment that deeply affects our health is Mother Earth. Lupita, when she was out in nature, when she was swimming in the ocean, she immediately felt so much better. But she forgot it immediately when she went back to the office or home in front of the screens. Think how much time we spend in front of screens. Phone, tablet, computer, television. It's crazy. And it's time that we don't spend within nature. And now we are going to do a quick experiment, okay? I'm showing one image first, then another image. Just please stay with the first reflex, the first feeling that you have when you see this image, okay? At the subconscious level, because it will be your subconscious triggering it. No? Okay, I don't have the image. There is something with the slides. Roberto? There is something with the slides, because it's not projecting the text or some pictures. Okay. Go back to Earth. Okay, between Earth and universe, there should be two pictures, if you see on the slide. Perfect. Yeah, beautiful. While they change, and I can tell you, a few years ago, if I would have found myself in this situation, I would have peed in my pants. And the people who know me can tell you yes, okay? The great friends of mine will confirm, yes, he would have peed in his pants, okay? So it's also really the beauty of working within us. It's about the beauty of flexibility, adapting, that's the point. Adapt your inner environment to what happens in the outer environment. Because things happen. Things happen. It's how we initially react to things, then we move from reaction to action that changes everything. And this is an example. And I was talking this morning with this friend of mine. Wow, you know, this morning I woke up pretty early. I still have some jet lag. And I called my mom. I said, hi, Mom, how are you? She's in Italy, so I didn't call her at 5 a.m., okay? No, she's not. Okay. And she was very excited. Oh, how is it going? How are you about the conference? I said, yeah, I'm good. I'm a little bit nervous, but it's good. I look forward to that. The environment is amazing. The people are here are amazing. And she said, yeah, I understand. And I think that you can feel the responsibility of representing Psyche and also Rob Williams. We will talk a little bit about him later, who was the originator of Psyche. He passed nearly 1 year ago. And when she shared this with me, something, you know, when someone shares something, you have a little earthquake inside. But I decided to initially ignore it because my mother is able to create a lot of earthquake within me, okay? One tip for all the therapists here. If you're going to help someone from Italy, the mother will be always there, okay? The mother is always there, okay? From Italy, not from Swiss. So my mom said this, and wow, this resonates a little bit with me. But this morning, also, I woke up with a terrible cough, okay? I start coughing, and said, no, please don't do that to me. Not today, please, tomorrow, not today. I was talking to my throat, to my lungs, not today, please, no, please, no, okay? I was coughing. And then my mother told me that, and then I said, okay. Don't panic, also because if I come on the stage coughing like a crazy, talking about health is not very nice, right? It's not such a good example, right? Okay. So I started to use Psyche and to dialogue with this condition, to dialogue with my cough. And I started to check, okay, what's the message for me? What do you have to tell me? And there were a couple of other messages, but the most important one was exactly what my mother told me. Was exactly that I was feeling a huge responsibility about representing Psyche and Rob Williams, the originator of Psyche. And that I needed to integrate the fact that I deeply honor this, and I wanted to share and honor this sacred methodology and the work of this amazing man in the most beautiful way. So I integrated this message, and the cough stopped. This is when you start to listen, to dance, instead of, I panicked for a few seconds, yes. He said, no, not today. No. Okay, but okay, let's take care of it. And also the importance of being vulnerable, okay? Do not pretend to be perfect. Even if you're working with yourself, self-realization, evolution, enlightenment since 35 years, be vulnerable, be open to see what's in it for you. And I personally love to work with myself every single day for my evolution, for my self-realization. Okay? My self-realization, what does it mean? To remember that I, like each one of you, are a spiritual being having a human experience. When we remember that, life is so much easier. Okay? And another thing is about solving the illusion of separation. We will talk a little bit about that too. So how is Roberto from Argentina, how is it? Yes, what? We're on. Okay, when an Argentinian say we're on, are we on? Okay. Back. Way back. Stop. No, back. I don't. Back. Stop. Back. Stop. Roberto, gracias. Gracias, Roberto. Gracias. Okay, there was some spoilers about some, now please look this light. You will forget all the dia that you just saw in this moment. Perfect. Erase the memory of the last few seconds. Now, let's go back to Mother Earth and let's do a quick experiment. Just perceive your initial reaction in the first second when the thought even doesn't come in, okay? How do you feel about that? How do you feel when you see this image? It's Mother Nature. Our subconscious mind recognizes this as our home. We release. Now, what's your reaction when you see this? A little bit different, right? Just a little bit. This is the importance of the environment. This is the important also where you decide to live. I lived in a city for a very long time, but in 2015 I decided to move to a very small village. 500 people live in that village. It's half of the participants, okay? It's in my village, surrounded by nature, okay? I love to travel. I love to enjoy, but then I need nature. You are the first healer for you. Mother Nature is the second most powerful healer, okay? You are the first. The second one is Mother Nature. Last but not least is the universe environment. Because Lupita felt very powerless and absolutely nothing compared to universe. Who am I? Doesn't matter what I do, if I see the universe, if I do something or do nothing, it's exactly the same. Why? Because Lupita didn't know that she was the universe, and everything that she was doing was affecting the whole universe. The universe is also our relationship with the spirit. How is your relationship with spirit? Is it a strong one? Is it a weak one? It's a non-existent relationship, because your relationship with spirit is absolutely critical with your health. And also Lupita suffered from, I think, the disease of the diseases, okay? That's the illusion of separation. Everyone who suffers from the illusion of separation is affected by it in every single area of our life. The illusion of separation from our spirit, the illusion of separation from nature, the illusion of separation from other people. The moment we solve the illusion of separation, it's impossible to harm, to do something bad, to abuse nature, other people, and also yourself. That's my number one goal, okay? My self-realization, universe calling, yeah? This is the universe saying, yes, that's the one, okay? Wake up call for all of us. It's not me. Yes, it's me. It's also me, because I am the universe, like you. So, very, very, very interesting. In Latin, illness is male aptus, okay? Male aptus means poor adaptation, and even more specifically, poor adaptation to a specific environment. Does it resonate with what we have just seen, with what Bruce teaches? Poor adaptation to our environment, male aptus. And pay attention regarding the environment. Finally, I have my slides back. Okay? The same event can be perceived by 10 different people, by 1,000 different people, in 10 different ways, and trigger 10 different reactions, behaviorally, emotionally, biologically, and all of this is managed by our subconscious system. And very important, what I see exists in the way I see because I filter it through the information that I get from my past experience. And that's why each experience is perceived by different people in so many different ways, okay? And the beauty of the diversity of all the speakers here is that for each one of you, each speaker was a unique experience. And each speaker, according to your perception, said something that was very precious to you. And also the future speakers will say something very important to you. So our health and well-being, like I just said, is deeply connected with what happens in our life, how we reaction to what happens in our life. But then we need to move from reaction to action, because a reaction is automatic, okay? We don't even think. If something happens, it happens. In less than 7 months, it all started on October 3rd last year. In less than 7 months, 3 of the most important people in my life died. Okay? Rob Williams, October 3rd. 27th of March, my father-in-law. After 3 months, she had exactly the same brain cancer that Alice's husband had. And my father, suddenly, heart attack 10 days after. Life happens. Life happens. Okay? How I initially react is, oh my God, what's happening in my life? But then you need to move from reaction to action. You need to dance with life. What is this telling to me? Like Alice said yesterday, I started to dialogue with death, okay? In a completely different way, because death has been a friend of mine since I was very young. Because since I was very young, I was afraid of losing my father for any reason. He was healthy, okay? But I was afraid to lose him. And I did so much to transform this fear when he was alive, okay? But when you lose someone, really, that's not losing, okay? We lose objects, we don't lose people, okay? When someone dies, you enter in a space that you can only experience when you do that experience. You cannot prevent it. So, is Lupita a victim? Yesterday, Michael talked about being victims, and asked to all of you, is anyone here a victim? So can I ask again, well, at least once in a lifetime, have you been a victim? Can you raise your hand? Thank you. Perfect. And this is a little more tricky question. Sometimes being a victim is so good. It's so good because I don't have to take responsibility for my life. Okay? So just the next slide is for the ones who didn't raise their hand. Okay? I see you, okay? I see you. Just to know, I see you, okay? So Lupita, at a certain point, said, yes, being a victim has some advantages, but I want to take my life in my hands, and started to study, to read. And one day, she went in a bookstore, and she saw this book. I don't know if anyone knows this book. Okay? If you don't know, buy it and read it. It's a yes or yes. It's not a suggestion, okay? And she was in some way attracted by this book, but she didn't. Biology, believe? What? Then she took the book, and she said, oh, I know why I'm attracted. There is such a beautiful man here, okay? And she fell in love with this beautiful man. Margaret, I'm sorry, I know. There's so many women in love with Bruce. It's her destiny. So she read the book, and she started to really think differently. Wow, what Bruce Lipton is saying is that I'm not a victim, that I can take responsibility of my life. Yes, I can be responsible for my life. But pay attention, because Lupita cannot control what happens in her life. I couldn't control the 3 losses that I've had. But she could control how she responds. She can transform her, pay attention, inner environment. That's very important. We have an outer environment and inner environment. The inner environment is what allows you to dance with the outer environment without letting the outer environment letting you be sick. It's your huge power. It's what you can do. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. I never truly understood this statement until I experienced the 3 deaths. It's so true. So here, only knowing the problem is not enough to solve the problem. It's not enough. How many of you have a problem now in their life? About anything, it could be health, job, relationship. Can you raise your hand? How many of you have at least one problem? Perfect. Oh, more honest. You don't want to see the dog anymore. Perfect. Beautiful. You see? So, you know the problem, but you're not solving the problem. So knowing the problem doesn't take you to the solution of the problem. And also, knowing the solution, just knowing consciously the solution, is not enough to solve the problem. And even more, the majority of the time, knowing the problem, knowing the solution, and installing the solution at the subconscious level is not enough if you do not take action. You have to take action. I'm going to say something that maybe it will be a little bit painful for some of you here. I know so many people who attend these amazing events because these events are amazing because it's a kick in your ass. It's wake up, do something. But if you do not get the full out of this event, that, wow, listening, this person, I understand that I need to change something in my life, and you do not do that, just attending the event is not enough. The purpose of this event, again, is to serve you, to help you. Okay, see what you need to transform. But then it's up to you. Because if you do not move your beautiful ass, nothing will change. Nothing will change. If you need to remember something from my speech is, wake up and move your ass. This, okay? Take just this at home, okay? So, how to do that? Quickly, okay? I will be fast. Might have 5 minutes more because of the dia. Okay, thank you. So how can you do that? Psyche. Psyche is an amazing methodology that allows you to be in contact with all the levels of your mind. Conscious mind, subconscious mind, superconscious mind. And Lupita was super happy about that because using an analogy, your conscious mind is the captain of a sailboat, okay? The sailboat is the subconscious. The majority of us misuse the captain because they do not take the rudder and tell the boat where I want to go, towards the island of love, towards the island of health, towards the island of abundance. They just shout at the rudder without taking in their hand and telling the boat, please move towards the island of love. Because remember also what I shared at the beginning and what Bruce shared yesterday, the vessel, the subconscious mind, is following the programs that the vessel inherited from the family. So now the vessel is going towards the island of scarcity, the island of fear, the island of doubt. The captain needs to take this rudder and change. Let's change direction. But it's not enough. Because we have this amazing superconscious mind that you can call it spirit, intuition, inner guidance. It's a part of you that knows everything, all the future potentials of your life. It knows why you are here, your purpose in life. And for me, in this analogy, is the divine wind. Okay? So what we do with Sake is very simple. The captain wet his finger, listen to the superconscious mind. Oh, you're going north. Perfect. Take the rudder and go north. Rob Williams was the originator of Psyche. He was my best friend, master, brother, spiritual brother. Really one of the most important people in my life. And he transitioned on October 3rd, 24. And do you know what was important really? Bruce knows him very well. He was a great friend. For him, love was important. This is his wife. Love, Sake is love. Sake is love. Okay? If you want, describe me, Sake, in one word, love. But also, another very important thing for him was friendship. There you can see two. Do you know the Jedi from Star Wars? Perfect. Two Jedis talking about the future of the world. Okay. So, what is Sake? Is applied spirituality or practical mysticism. When Lupita learned Psyche, she also read a book from Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. And one statement that she loved in that book was, stop talking about the Buddha and be the Buddha. Stop talking about love and be love. Stop talking about compassion and be compassion. And we can do that when we download this in our beautiful subconscious mind. So quickly, Sake is taught in more than 60 countries in more than 20 different languages. And pay attention is not a substitute of official health. It's a beautiful complement. There are some beautiful things in official health. But when we over-focus on the symptom, we lose the big picture. So the integration of the detail and the big picture is the best. So quickly, with Sake, for sure, we can transform limiting beliefs. For example, I hate myself in I love myself. We can transform the perception of stressful and traumatic event into a state of peace and non-attachment. We can discover the secondary gain and transform them. We can look for messages, the ones, this morning, when I woke up with this huge cough, okay? What's the message? What are you trying to tell me? And integrate them at the subconscious level. And finally, let your superconscious mind to dialogue directly with your subconscious mind, even without the involvement of the conscious mind, for your highest well-being. It's possible. It's possible, just enjoy the ride, okay? Because sometimes we have a problem and really we have no idea where it comes from. So we tell, please, superconscious, help me, okay? I trust you. The thing that we need to know with Psyche, but I believe with everything that's presented here in such a beautiful and sacred way is that we always get what we need. That sometimes is what we want. Other times is different from what we want, okay? And it's way more important to get always what we need, okay? So there was a quick experiment, but we can go through that. No, I think now it's my, first of all, thank you for your time, for listening. And I have the honor now to invite here Rita Funes. She's a certified sake instructor in Mexico. An amazing person, Rita. She's love. You can see. Love. Okay?
I am Lupita. Y en unos minutos les voy a contar una historia. Gracias, Duccio. Quédate aquí. Porque es difícil para mí moverme en cierta cantidad de luz. Bueno, les platico de una niña que creció en uno de los barrios, en uno de los cerros. Quienes son de aquí de Ciudad de México conocen un cerro que está por allá por Indios Verdes, que tiene muchas casitas arriba. Pues ahí nació esa niña, en una familia de 2 adolescentes y con muchas carencias. Nace el mismo día del cumpleaños de su mamá. Y con estas carencias esa niña quiere tener una vida diferente y estudiar. Pensaba que esa era la manera de tener una vida distinta, porque en toda su familia, tíos, primos, abuelos, nadie había hecho una carrera universitaria, y empieza a trabajar muy chiquita, a los 12 años, para lograr eso. Entra a la universidad, logra hacer eso, y a los 20 años le diagnostican una enfermedad genética. Le dicen que tiene la misma enfermedad de su mamá y que va a perder la visión poco a poco hasta quedar ciega. En ese momento ella tenía muchas cosas que resolver, como vender cierto tipo de cosas para poder lograr tener ingresos para el camión, para la torta, Y ella no supo que en ese momento, cuando los doctores le dijeron que eso iba a pasar, se instaló un programa a nivel de su mente subconsciente, y ese programa se empezó a ejecutar de manera automática. De tal manera que cuando pasó el tiempo, terminó su carrera, se casó, tuvo una hija, y cuando estaba esperando el segundo bebé, pierde el trabajo. Y en ese momento de la pérdida de trabajo, cuando ella estaba en completo estrés, porque cuando estamos en estrés, el cerebro deja de comunicarse, tus hemisferios dejan de comunicarse y estás en un estado de estrés. Y en ese estado de estrés, ella tiene un accidente de auto. Como estaba esperando otro bebé, le hacen una serie de estudios y le dicen: ¿te acuerdas de ese diagnóstico de la vista? Pues resulta que de tu campo visual de 180 grados, tienes hoy 33. Tu ceguera nocturna es muy avanzada, ya no puedes hacer muchas cosas. Y bueno, esa niña soy yo. Y en ese momento de victimismo, como lo han platicado tanto, no tenía trabajo, mi salud comprometida, no tenía dinero, no tenía ahorros, pero empezó mi búsqueda y empecé a hacer esas preguntas que quizás algunos de ustedes se han hecho, ¿no? ¿Por qué a mí? ¿Por qué yo? ¿Por qué de 6 hermanos solamente yo heredé esa enfermedad? ¿Qué voy a hacer si me voy a quedar ciega? Ya no voy a poder trabajar en lo que yo sé hacer. Y empezó mi búsqueda. Y pasaron algunos años en esa búsqueda, me formé en varias cosas, tomé bioneuromoción con el señor Corbera. Entendí muchas cosas y seguí buscando. Y un día, hace 10 años aproximadamente, estaba en un evento como este, con muchos conferencistas. Mis amigas me dijeron, vamos, va a estar buenísimo. Yo la verdad no conocía a los ponentes que iban a estar y fui y me senté así como estás tú hoy aquí. Y ya queríamos ir a comer, eso fue en Monterrey, y empezó a llover. Y no pudimos salir a comer porque estaba lloviendo, fue ahí en la plaza de Cintermex. Bueno, pues hay que quedarnos a escuchar al siguiente speaker, ¿no? Y estaba yo sentada y subió un señor con una barba blanca, un chaleco blanco, y empezó a dar su conferencia y me atrapó. Y de pronto dijo, tú no eres víctima de tus genes. Si tú cambias tus pensamientos, si tú cambias tus creencias subconscientes, tú puedes tener una vida diferente, tu biología puede cambiar. Parecía que me lo estaba diciendo a mí porque hizo así y yo estaba ahí. Ese señor era Bruce Lipton. Fue muy bonito porque cuando él terminó su conferencia, dijo, el proceso que yo utilizo de manera personal y que recomiendo es Psyche. Y por supuesto, saliendo de ahí, regresando a México, corrí y le dije a mi esposo, tengo que tomar ese curso de Psyche. Y me dijo, oye, ya pagamos los de Enrique Corbera en euros y ahora estos en dólares, ya gastaste mucho dinero. Pero siempre me ha apoyado en todo lo que yo creo que eso es. Y le dije, es que yo necesito aprender eso, necesito aprender a reprogramar mi mente, porque quiero tener una vida distinta. Y no les cuento mucho, porque ya se me va a acabar el tiempo, pero llegué a tomar ese curso con mi amiga Marta Vargas y ha sido un parteaguas. En los últimos 9 años y cachito que llevo con Psyche, a mí una de las cosas que me quedaron muy grabadas es esta diferencia entre la mente consciente y la mente subconsciente. La mente consciente yo sabía que era el 5% y que la mente subconsciente el 95%, pero yo no sabía que el procesamiento era muy distinto. La mente consciente va a 40 bits por segundo y la mente subconsciente a 40 millones de bits por segundo, muy veloz, de tal manera que yo no podía cambiar solamente con pensarlo, con visualizarlo, con repetirlo. Tenía que hacer algo que llegara a mi mente subconsciente. Y lo que les puedo decir es que esta condición que los médicos hoy me dicen, tú deberías estar ciega, esos 33 grados a los que llegué cuando yo tenía 30, hoy tengo 55, hoy tengo 30. Prácticamente se ha parado esa condición, no ha avanzado, y fue tal el impacto para mí de conocer el proceso que decidí hacer este camino para convertirme en instructora, con muchas creencias limitantes, porque yo decía, ya estoy muy vieja, necesito aprender inglés, ya tengo 50 años, ¿cómo le voy a hacer? ¿Cómo lo voy a hacer para tener toda esa inversión? A lo mejor no tengo lo suficiente, y no sé si les ha pasado a ustedes que en algún momento te sientes que no tengo lo suficiente para lograr ese sueño. Lo tienes. Y bueno, ha sido un camino súper bonito porque hoy soy la única instructora de Psyche en México. Hago estos cursos aquí. Traigo mi porra de Psyche, por supuesto. Vino gente de Italia, de Argentina, de Costa Rica, de Colombia. Son los que traen estos cordoncitos. Y lo que les quiero decir hoy es que el regalo más grande que me trajo esta condición fue tener esta claridad de propósito. Ese momento donde había perdido el trabajo y la ilusión y la salud, hoy lo he recuperado. Platiqué un poquito con Bruce hace unos días y me dijo, acuérdate que tú tienes esa capacidad de recuperar tu poder. Y he recuperado ese poder y lo único que te quiero decir es que ese es mi propósito, compartir este mensaje de decirte que si yo pude a los 50 empezar a aprender un idioma distinto, sigo aprendiendo, pero si a los 50 empecé a hacer otras cosas, que hoy puedo dar estos cursos, no solo en México, en Estados Unidos, con toda la condición y me apoyo de la gente y de todo lo que esta condición, que para mí ha sido un regalo, me ha traído, tú puedes hacer lo que sea, lo que quieras que sea, pero Psyche no solamente se trata de cambiar tu mente y ya, se trata de tomar acción. Y si tú realmente quieres tener una experiencia distinta, comprométete, toma acciones distintas. Eso es lo que yo entendí hace 10 años cuando escuché al Dr. Bruce Lipton. Y hoy quizás puedes tomar esa decisión de decir cómo quieres empezar hoy a crear algo distinto en tu vida. Muchas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, Rita. Muchas gracias, Duccio. Tenemos la posibilidad de que el público haga 5 preguntas, tanto para Duccio y también, si quieren preguntarle algo a Rita, encantados, por favor. Los escuchamos. ¿A dónde? Ahí. Por favor, ¿podrían acercar un micrófono? Los chicos voluntarios, gracias.
Entiendo español, mais si tú
sí.
translate.
Yo no, voy a pedir ayuda a un traductor. Rita, ¿me ayudas a traducir? Porque ahí viene Toño. Gracias. Gracias.
Yeah.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Sí me escuchó?
Hola.
¿Qué tal? Soy Esmeralda. No hablo bien inglés, voy a hablar en español, ¿está bien? Es la pregunta para Lucho. Antes que nada, quiero agradecer porque estoy experimentando una profunda gratitud en todo mi cuerpo al escuchar tu charla y su experiencia de Lupita, que no es Lupita.
Before everything, I want to thank you because I'm transforming my body as I listen to you.
Thank you.
Si quieres.
Me gustaría conocer un poco más porque hablas sobre el supraconsciente, cómo entrar al supraconsciente y eso hacer llegar al inconsciente sin que intervenga uno de por medio. Me gustaría profundizar un poquito más porque me quedé impresionada con lo que comentas y porque ese justo ha sido mi problema, que se ha dividido la parte consciente de la inconsciente y no he encontrado el vínculo de este. Por ejemplo, yo tengo 1 año sin consumir azúcar y haciendo yoga y yo me enfermaba 2 veces por mes y ahora voy a cumplir 1 año sin enfermarme. Pequeños cambios, he notado una gran diferencia.
Okay, so if you can, because I got, I think, the whole sense, but
She wants to understand the connection between the supraconscious and subconscious and how to enter that part, if you can deepen a little bit.
So thank you for the question. There is a translation. Oh, okay. Translation is perfect. Okay. In the Psyche process, there is really a procedure to make this specific connection. Okay. So she's putting the. Okay. In the Psyche process, there is a specific procedure to create this connection and to be able to dialogue with you because you are your superconscious mind. Okay? The beauty is that the superconscious mind knows the big picture, know everything about you, also all the future potentials. So in case your conscious mind and your personality chooses something that you want Because from your limited point of view, that's the conscious mind. You think that's the right solution. But then you double check this with the superconscious mind, and the superconscious mind will tell you, no, 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 don't go there, because if you go there, you will crash. Within the Psyche process, you will be told, stop here and take another path. So it's really, Psyche, in a very simple way, it's the ability, is the key skill, is to become an expert in a dialogue with all the part of you, conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. And the more you remember who you are, the easier is to be connected with your superconscious. That's your intuition, okay? The intuition, for me, is my number one. When I use Psyche with myself every single day, I have a dialogue with my superconscious. I ask, okay, what's in it for me today? Forgive your mother. Oh, really? Yeah, you have to forgive your mother. Perfect. So I use for forgiving my mother. Or, perfect. So, okay, anything else? Yeah, you should do that now. You should move your ass and take this action. But we need to pay a lot of attention, because it's really easy also to be misguided and think that it's the intuition talking to you, the superconscious talking to you, but in reality it's your personality. So it's really important to do a beautiful inner transformation to receive a clear signal. And as Rob Williams said, to be a clear channel to the divine. When we are clear channel to the divine, life is easy. Life is easy. Thank you. Thank you so much.
¿Alguien más que quiera
Gracias a
hacer
ti.
otra pregunta?
Buenos días, mi nombre es Raquel de la Ciudad de México
Okay.
y antes que nada quiero felicitarlo por tan excelente conferencia. Y ya sé que no se puede generalizar, pero de acuerdo al Psyche, ¿qué mensaje podrían estar enviando las enfermedades autoinmunes?
Can you translate?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, I am Raquel. Before anything, thank you for being here. I'm from Mexico City.
Thank you, Raquel.
¿Puedes, por favor, repetir tu pregunta un poco más fuerte?
Sí, que no se puede generalizar, yo entiendo eso, pero de acuerdo al Psyche y a este doctor, ¿qué mensaje podrían estar enviando las enfermedades autoinmunes, los anticuerpos que atacan al propio cuerpo?
Oh, thank you for the question. When you use Psyche, there is not a standard message regarding a specific condition. Because the same condition, for example, autoimmune disease, can be caused by so many different things according to so many different people. So with Psyche, the beauty is that each session that you do, each discovery, each process that's called balance will help you to discover the reason, but for you, and you are unique. So, for example, if I would have to do a session with 10 different people with autoimmune disease, and we would check the message with each one, we would get very different messages, okay? And that's the beauty of the unicity of the human being. Even if I see that there are some things that are recurrent, for example, but don't take this as a absolute truth, okay? It's based on my experience. I've seen that often, talking about illusion of separation. The conflicts of separation, that means when we lose someone, okay, often biologically affect our epiderm, not the derm. The derm usually is more affected by conflict of attack, okay? But the epiderm is related to a conflict of separation. Why? Because it's the contact. And when we go through conflict of separation, this is one also of the causes of hair loss. I've seen this in nature as well. I've seen a friend of mine who had a cat, okay? And he used to caress this cat over and over exactly on the same area. This friend of mine transitioned, and the cat lost his hair only in the area where he was caressed. Only there. Why? To protect himself from feeling the lack of contact. Biologically, we are perfect, okay? But to answer to your question, it can be anything. My suggestion, if you're curious to do that, if you're curious to experience IKE, is to do a session with someone and discover the messages for you, or I don't know if it's about you or a person that you love, eventually suggest this person.
Ok, pero en la base no tendrá que ver con sentimientos de culpa.
Guiltiness?
Yeah, guilt is the base of it. Guilty.
Oh, yes. I was a master in guiltiness. Yeah. It's about really changing the reason, the why. Why do you feel guilty? And how do you want to feel instead? For example, one important question is, for you, what's the opposite of guiltiness? And once you are clear about what's the opposite of guiltiness, about what you want instead, you then install the new belief in your subconscious mind. But first, ask yourself, what's the opposite of guiltiness? And then it will be easy to create your goal that you will integrate at the subconscious level, and then you will put it into action. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Duccio, muchísimas gracias. Gracias. Este es un reconocimiento, un certificado del LCK, y este es un reconocimiento también de Piel Canela. El arte de dar, el lujo de recibir, son productos de piel hechos por manos mexicanas. Muchísimas gracias por haber estado aquí.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.